Well, it's official. We've hit that point of the NFL offseason where there's nothing to talk about, so NFL lists are coming out. ESPN released their top 10 quarterback list with a few honorable mentions. I wrote these down on this little piece of paper right here with little, I guess you call them quotes or phrases that we use in the article. Let's start with the honorable mentions. Jacob Herbert here for NFL. We're going to break this down for you. The first honorable mention is Sam Darnold. How did the Super Bowl winning quarterback not make this list? This is the guy who won the Super Bowl, played great in the playoffs, played great all last year, and the previous year, even though he wasn't part of this team, went to the playoffs, played very well in that regular season. Why is that happening? The only reason I can come to is they claim, the NFL and ESPN who wrote this, said, well, he's still the quarterback who said in that mic'd up moment of, I was seeing ghost. That's the one thing. But that happened like almost a decade ago. That a lot has changed. He's played very well since then. Yet, that's the thing that we remember the most. That's the only thing I can think of why ESPN would not put him on there. They claim that the 10th spot of this list, that there was 4 people vying for it, and Sam Darnold was one of those, but then they chose to go in a different direction. Kind of hard to say, and just in my opinion. Another person who didn't make this list, Baker Mayfield, who you could talk me into it. He is an honorable mention, but you could talk me into him being on this list. The guy's played well. At certain points of the year, he's played like an MVP. But at what point do you go and say, is he an MVP? Is he not an MVP? Is he a serious candidate? Is he not a serious candidate? Because every year you say the same thing. You play good for like a 5-game stretch and then it falls apart. Because either he got injured or the team fell apart. So you could talk me into it, but I could see why he wouldn't be on this list. So I'm not against it entirely. Jordan Love not being on this list, I don't know what you want him to do. What do you want him to do? Same thing goes for Jalen Hurts. How are they not on this list? In the case of Jordan Love, he's been very good. He's played injured. He's played well. The team fell apart last year defensively because they had injuries. That wasn't on him. And now he's being asked, where he lost a wide receiver in free agency. There's a guy coming back from an injury in Micah Parsons. They lost a couple key guys in free agency. You're putting that all on him, which is not a fair thing to do. And he has played well. So I don't know what you want of him. In the case of Jalen Hurts, the guy has been to 2 Super Bowls, won one of them. He's played very well. He's had deep playoff runs. He made the playoffs last year. What do you want the guy to do? What we say about Lamar Jackson, we don't say about Jalen Hurts. He's a dynamic runner. Yeah. But he's gifted. And he does enough for that team. He deserves to be on this list. It's so ridiculous to not put him on this list. Then you don't put Brock Purdy on the list, which the only reason I can come up to is because they saw that Purdy got injured, so he missed time, and ESPN said, well, Mac Jones played very well too in the system. So is it Brock Purdy being special, or is it how the system is? Which we've all said for years that a system like this does benefit a quarterback. So I'm not against it entirely. Trevor Lawrence being an honorable mention surprised me because to me he's too up and down. You go sometimes game by game or drive by drive or quarter by quarter, or even year by year, Trevor Lawrence doesn't play well. There's a year he plays very well, and then there's a year he just completely falls apart. And then sometimes it's game by game he does that too, or quarter by quarter. It's always the case. He plays well, and then he plays like it's a dumpster fire. I don't know what he's doing. So there is concern about that. I don't deny that. But what else can you say? To me, he's not an honorable mention to me. A person that I thought would have at least been an honorable mention, but wasn't, was Bo Nix. Bo Nix isn't even on this list. What do you want Bo Nix to do? Bo Nix and Caleb Williams to me are like the same player. They had the same season, basically. They had a guy who, they were part of a team. They won these one-score games. And the only difference is that the Denver Broncos defense overall is better. That's it. Everything else is kind of like, maybe. You can flip a coin on it. But it's that accurate. It's so ridiculous that Bo Nix is not an honorable mention, at least. Well, let's start at number 10. Caleb Williams was number 10. And the way they described him, according to one NFL GM, was most dynamic. I don't know if I'd say Caleb Williams is the most dynamic. Dynamic? Yes. Most dynamic? Not really. And the reason I say that is I don't think you should have made the list because 1 year should not put you on this list. 1 year does not put you on this list. If Sam Darnold doesn't make this list and he won the Super Bowl, and Caleb Williams had one good year where they won one-score games all the time, it's kind of hard for me to say, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that makes it, who's the top 10 quarterback. I don't agree with that. Number 9 on this list, Jared Goff. The quote they used for Jared Goff was, the man wins. He wins. And he has the ability to layer the ball at different levels of a defense. That is all true. Jared Goff, I think, is a very good quarterback if you give him the right circumstances to succeed. A good ground game and some good weapons to throw to, where he's not putting all the pressure on himself. He plays very well. I think that's 99% of the quarterbacks. You have to put at least a little bit around them to help them. Some more than others, but you have to be able to do it. And I think Jared Goff is one of those guys, and that's fine. That's fine. This is a guy who's been to a Super Bowl and has been to NFC Championship games. You see what everyone else is seeing. This is what he brings to the table. And yes, I say the number 9 spot fits him very well. Number 8, Drake May. I think Drake May is this low on this list because they described him as a playmaker, which that's what he is. I think they see him as this list because the schedule for the Patriots, which is not his fault, by the way. The schedule for the Patriots was not very tough. It was pretty easy. And I think that's why people have some reservations about Drake May. I think he played well. I don't see him as a bad player. I think that there's still more to learn about him. But as I've seen so far, he's played well. He doesn't turn the ball over that much. He's consistent in the pocket. He'll sit in there when he needs to, but he'll take off when he has to. I like what he brings. But yeah, 8 I think fits him pretty well. Number 7. This is where I differ. Number 7, Justin Herbert. And I use the term potential because in the case of Justin Herbert, it's potential and upside all the time. And I say this for Trevor Lawrence too. I'm tired of hearing a player who hasn't really done anything get all this upside credit. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like Trevor Lawrence at least won a playoff game. Justin Herbert hasn't won a playoff game. This entire list is about players who've won playoff games, won an MVP, been to a Super Bowl, or won a Super Bowl. Justin Herbert's the only player on this list who hasn't won a playoff game. Because everyone says, oh, look how big, look how he has a strong arm, he's talented, he's athletic, he moves well, he'll play hurt. When he has to take a hit, he will. Like, I get it. And he's not put in the best situation to succeed sometimes. I get that too. But at some point or another, if we're not going to put any blame on Justin Herbert in these playoff disasters, which he hasn't played well, by the way, like, you can't just say he's a top 8 quarterback if he's not playing well in the playoffs. It's just what it is. I'm tired of that upside aspect of it. To me, the upside aspect of saying, oh, well, there's a lot of upside here, there's a lot of potential. If you were to start a team or a league tomorrow, you would select him. I'm tired of that. No one else gets this much credit for doing nothing more than Justin Herbert right now. And that needs to be changed in the media world. It just has to be. I like Justin Herbert. I do. But we gotta stop this. It's getting ridiculous. Moving on to number 6. Dak Prescott. From 6th to 8th is the range for Dak, in my opinion. That's his range. Is he a top 5 quarterback? At times he can be, but that's my range for him. They described it as acute progression passing. He's an acute progression passer, which is a nice way of saying he can survey the field and get the ball to where it needs to go and put a great throw on for that play. That's what Dak is. Now, the same thing that I said about Justin Herbert. When you don't play well in the playoffs sometimes, and not saying that all of them are at Dak's fault, because there's times he's played well and the team hasn't won. But he hasn't won a Super Bowl. And that's the one thing that's holding him down right now, is he's getting his flowers, so to speak, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl. And until he does that, he's always going to be seen as that, as a top 8 quarterback, but not a top 5 quarterback. He needs to win a Super Bowl, or he needs to be in a Super Bowl, one of the two. Because he has had MVP-type years. In fact, he was a runner-up for an MVP and lost to a person a little higher up this list. Dak's getting older. He's going to be 33 in a couple weeks. So he can still perform. And the team I believe that is around him right now is the best he's going to have. If he can just if he can stay healthy and be able to do everything he needs to do, he'll be good. He'll be ready to roll. And this team has opportunities, and he's done some good things in the past. So there's reason to believe in that. But he has to go win a Super Bowl. He has to. It's the one thing that if you want to get the amounts of flowers of respect, that's something he has to do. Moving on to number 5, Lamar Jackson. I use the term impressive because when I looked at what they were saying about him, it was very weird the way ESPN had, because it was all like executives and coordinators and GMs and owners that wouldn't put their name on it. And they described him, Lamar Jackson, they described him as a player who's not at his peak anymore because of the style he plays and needs to be more of a runner only when the play breaks down, which is I don't understand, because they did say he's getting better at throwing the football. Yes, I agree. He's gotten a lot better. But do I think of his style that he's considered at his peak? Maybe not. But the same thing goes with Lamar Jackson. You have to understand this. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, doesn't have a Super Bowl in the case, and he's had opportunities. I'm not saying his wide receivers are the best. They're not, but they're not horrible. And you have Derrick Henry. You should be better than what you are. So there's times I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, yeah, that needs to be a fix. At number 4, Joe Burrow. And the way that they described him as the best pocket movement in the league. That's the way it was described. I think people for Joe Burrow, they just feel bad for him. They just they're sad about it because he's on a team that isn't very good. all the time. Like, their defense is a dumpster fire. The offense is a joke. The offensive line is a joke. When Joe Burrow has the opportunity, he's been to a Super Bowl. When Joe Burrow has the opportunities, he's actually really good. It's just, he's been banged up a lot. His offensive line isn't very good. His defense is a dumpster fire, like I said. Those are all things that need to be addressed. And they have to be addressed right now. But yeah, I think 4 is a perfect spot for him. 3, Matthew Stafford, to which I just put MVP. And to me, if you're the MVP, you should be first or second on the list, not third. Because I don't think anyone played better than him. I mean, you're the MVP. No one played better than him. You got an award saying you're the most valuable player. But 3 is okay. 3 is an okay position. Once you get in the top 5, it becomes a who's who situation. It's like a dealer's choice. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Why wasn't he number 1? I don't get that. I don't get that. They describe it as you put fear in people. Because it's like, oh my gosh, that guy, no matter what the score is, it still could be 0-0. Because that's the way they play. I don't understand why he's number 2. The only way you could tell me he's number 2 is because of the injury. Okay, maybe. And I know they didn't play well, but it wasn't solely on him. That whole team wasn't very good this year because you can only dance through the raindrops so many times. So I wouldn't put him at number 2. To me, he's like the best quarterback in the league right now. He's always going to be number 1 no matter if he wins the Super Bowl or the MVP. It doesn't matter. He could win neither, and he's still the number 1. And then they go to Josh Allen, and he's the number 1 quarterback, according to ESPN. And according to an NFL GM, they described him as a term unstoppable. Yeah. The guy, he won an MVP. I'll give you that. He hasn't won a Super Bowl. And what I said about Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott, if you haven't won a Super Bowl, you haven't done really anything. And you haven't been to one. And you've had good teams. The things I can say about, like, okay, Lamar Jackson or Dak Prescott, where one side of the ball was just really bad, or the wide receivers weren't that good, you can't say that about the Bills because they have been. They might not be the best. They're not Lynn Swann and John Stallworth over here, but they're good. And yet they just completely fall apart. So I need to see Josh Allen do that. You don't have a Super Bowl in the case. You got to do that before anyone says, oh yeah, sure. Especially when Patrick Mahomes has multiple Super Bowls and multiple MVPs. Matthew Stafford has a Super Bowl and an MVP. And those are the 2 guys behind you. Because the NFL GM claimed that he said, I think he supplanted him. I think he supplanted Mahomes. Really? I mean, okay, it's your opinion, but your opinion is wrong. Sorry, it's what it is. If it was me creating this list, here's the list I would have. Jared Goff, he would go from number 9 to number 10, He'd go number 9 to number 10. Then I would go and I would put Justin Herbert at 9, Drake May at 8, Dak Prescott at 7, Lamar Jackson at 6, Sam Darnold at 5. Then I would go and put Joe Burrow at 4. Then I would put Josh Allen at 3, Matthew Stafford at 2, and Patrick Mahomes at 1. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Josh Allen is the top quarterback in the league? And also, are you excited for the NFL season to start? For NFL World, I'm Jacob Herbert. Out.